Happen again right in front of our eyes. Everybody, welcome back. I don't see a way that we get back on track. This has been an eventful weekend. We've had the No King's Day protest happen yesterday. And the voices in opposition to the protest itself, a protest against consolidation of power, a protest against the supposed monarchy, is quite disheartening for anyone who wants this country to come together. Anyone who sees that the people's problems are outside of the people. This is really an illustration of the failure of the American people to see through the bullshit. Because the truth is they don't get it. Fundamentally, they just do not get it. I'm not talking about just a misunderstanding, something simple, something trivial that we all go through. I'm talking about a profound misunderstanding of American history and what it is fundamentally to be an American. Because there's something that simply goes beyond compliance. It goes beyond repetitive acknowledgments of the status quo. Being American is fundamentally something special and something to be admired. And it is something at its core that has been admired for a long time, but now it's just something that admires and the bullshit of the nonsense that comes down from Capitol Hill. I'm on TikTok doing my thing as I have to do to get inspiration for where we are in the moment. And I see Speaker Mike Johnson up there with his little gavel, sweating as he describes the people who are going to be in attendance at the No King's Day protest. They say that they're fundamentally anti-American. They hate this country. It's a protest of hate. And he gleefully lists all the seditious parties that will be there in attendance, right? The socialist, the communist, the anti-fascist, the pro-Hamas. The stance that he takes is one that's not just divisive, but it's corrosive to our government. It's corrosive to unity. When you look at the list that he describes, when you look at the list that Trump describes, it's just a conspiracy fever dream that's written at 3 o'clock in the morning while doom posting on Truth Social. The one thing that they're truly terrified of in this nation, of this administration, is dissent. To be dissenting, to be one who questions, is to be American. I could say that it's one of the greatest qualities of a patriot. A true patriot is to be the loudest in the room who condemns the actions that go against the will of the American people or the interest in the American people, even if it goes with the will. Because the will isn't always right. Remember slavery. Remember Jim Crow. They have boiled down the entire concept of what it is to truthfully be an American and to be a citizen into one single and pathetic requirement: compliance. If you stand up in a public square and raise your voice against the man in power, they simply call you a communist. They call you a terrorist. They call you a traitor. And it's that point right there that they stop simply being conservatives. And this is someone who used to be a conservative, somebody who used to be on the right. It's at that point that they become something much, much uglier. They become loyalist. They become redcoats. They become everything. They personify everything that this country was founded to stand against. Because what is No Kings? It's not some weird esoteric philosophy that was born in some vegan bakery in New York. No. It's the cornerstone of the entire American operation. It is, in fact, the second line in the Declaration of Independence, the right of the people to alter or abolish the government when it becomes corrosive and destructive to the rights of the American people. Because in the end, the American people, hundreds of years ago, wrote a contract. And every now and then, that social contract, the work that's being done, needs to be checked. When people are marching and holding signs that say, we don't have kings in America, we have a constitution, no kings. They're not hating America. They're literally reciting the mission statement of America. We are the only true curators of American freedom. But if you really want to know just how deep the sickness goes, how deep and badly they've destroyed the very meaning of patriotism, just simply look at President Trump. He hears millions of people from 50 states crying out that no, we don't want a king. And his response is to go on Fox News and says with that look of denial on his face, I am not a king. This is not an act. But the truth is the irony is just so thick that you can choke on it. Sir, you have been accused by your opponents, of weaponizing the Justice Department for your own personal vendettas. You've suggested that the Constitution gives you the right to do whatever you want. You've mused about a third term, and then when people take up the cry that defines the anti-authoritarian nature of our country, you simply sit back and say, oh no, not me. I'm just a regular guy. But there's nothing regular about this president. There's nothing regular or normal about this administration or the core philosophy or ethos that goes beyond it. It's simply un-American. The fact that he even needs to deny the title means that the protest itself is working. The fact that the Speaker of the House has to label it as a Hate America rally really illustrates, focuses, and puts in the spotlight one very simple and profound truth about this administration and those who support it. They're afraid of the power of the people, or that the power belongs to the people. They're trying to gaslight our country. They're trying to convince us that being a patriot means that you sit in silence when the government oversteps, that to use your First Amendment right to dissent is an act of supreme betrayal to the country. But the history books are clear. My friends, they are clear. The American revolutionaries, in fact, were protesters. They were the ones that the crown called criminals, traitors, disloyal. But they were the ones who said, we will not be ruled. So for those out there, the Mike Johnsons of the world who see compliance and confuse obedience with loyalty, those who think that patriotism means flying your flag in silence, while all measures are being enacted that erode the very foundation of American law, you're on the wrong side of history, and you're missing the entire point. We don't do kings in our country, and when we do see someone trying to be one, we'll be out in the streets, we'll be screaming, not out of hate for our country, but out of a desperate, bone-deep, fierce love and loyalty to our country, or at least to what America is supposed to be. No kings. Say it, scream it, as it's all we have left. And to those of you out there, those true patriots, I salute you. Cheers. If you're still here at this point, ladies and gentlemen, like and subscribe. Think about becoming a member, won't you? Think about giving a donation. We love you guys here. Tell me what you think, right? Do you see a fundamental promise in the fact that so many millions of people were out in the streets protesting against the threat of authoritarian and monarchy in our once great country? Or do you think that it's a disgrace to the First Amendment? Do you think that it's objectively wrong, an abject act of disloyalty in a country that has never required loyalty, just respect for one another? But happy Sunday, everyone. Have a good one.